Hi everyone, this is Dr. Teramachi. Welcome to my video today. I'm at the Integrative Therapeutics Clinic. Today I want to talk about stress and how it can lead to physical problems. A lot of people believe that stress is more emotional and it is associated with psychological issues, but they may or may not know that it can lead to physical problems later in life. So emotional stress can be acute or chronic. Acute is something that's recent, less than 3 weeks. Maybe you just moved from a different city, maybe you went overseas, or maybe somebody died in your family. Chronic stress is long-term stress, like more than a month, and that can be from issues with raising a baby, or you're having relationship problems with your partner, or something that's happening at your work you're not able to sort out. So those are situations where you can have chronic stress. Typically, acute stress, we deal with it and the situation somehow resolves and it may or may not influence what's happening in your body. But chronic stress is related to a lot of chronic health problems. Whether it is acute or chronic, what happens is your adrenal gland is activated and it releases these hormones called adrenaline, noradrenaline. And these activate your sympathetic system so that your blood pressure goes up, your pulse rate goes up, you're in a heightened state of awareness. These are very good in the short term, but in the long run, this can cause issues with your body. So let's say your blood pressure is always high and your pulse is high and you're chronically activating your adrenal glands. It can lead to high blood pressure. And the gold standard treatment for high blood pressure is something like lisinopril or metoprolol, which knocks out your sympathetic system. So if you look at it from a functional medicine point of view, you're activating the adrenal gland because of emotional stress, and you're trying to use a medication to knock off your adrenal gland. It doesn't make sense. The best strategy is obviously to treat the root cause, which is the emotional stress. We teach the clients how to deal with the stress. I teach this in a separate video where we talk about different strategies like meditation, yoga, and so forth. Similarly, chronic stress can lead to glucose intolerance. So adrenal gland, when it's activated, it can also release a lot of cortisol. In the short term, cortisol is really good. It increases the glucose supply in the bloodstream. The liver produces more glucose, and what it does is the cells have more fuel to work with. But in the long term, if there's too much glucose in the bloodstream, then the cells become downregulated. They develop a diabetes-like state where the glucose is not passing into the cell. So because of that problem, people can develop either pre-diabetes or eventually diabetes, and they have to deal with that problem. The next one is inflammation. Because stress causes increased wear and tear in the body, you can experience joint inflammation, you can experience inflammation inside the blood vessels, inside the muscles, you can have muscle aches all the time. This is because of maladaptation and increased adrenaline in the body. Obviously, we talked about high blood pressure. It can also cause actual cardiovascular disease where, let's say your blood pressure is high consistently over a period of time. The heart has to pump against a higher pressure. So the heart has to adapt, and eventually what happens is the muscles become thicker and bigger. In the long run, it can lead to heart failure, but the heart is not able to dilate because of this negative adaptation. Also, you notice that to increase the pressure, the blood vessels constrict, and when they're constricted for a long time, they can become harder over time. We call it atherosclerosis in medicine. Because of the hardening of the vessels, the blood pressure keeps going up, and it increases the load on the heart to pump the blood upstream. So those are some of the mechanisms how you can develop cardiovascular problems because of stress. So we talked about insulin resistance and how it increases the blood glucose levels. We also talked about inflammation. Eventually, inflammation leads to issues with immunity. You can experience what is known as autoimmunity, where the body is trying to attack its own organs. Like, for example, rheumatoid arthritis can lead to antibodies that are produced against joint and cause chronic inflammation in the knee joint and fingers and so forth. The other one is because of increased cortisol levels, the body's own immunity is suppressed on a long-term basis. And when the body's immunity is suppressed on a long-term basis, what happens is you will be susceptible to common colds, flu, and all kinds of other things. And that can lead to overuse of antibiotics, leading to issues with your gut microbiome. And then there are some studies that pointed out that the body cells die over time. Atrophy, eventually shrinking of the cells, and eventually they may die. And this can happen because of chronic stress. As we discussed, chronic stress can cause inflammation and eventual cell death. And if you have cell death in the neurons in the brain, then you can have cognitive decline. So as we see in modern day world, because of chronic stress, there are a lot of people who develop Alzheimer's and other kinds of dementia late in life, and they have to use nursing homes and those resources. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video about dementia and so forth. So if you look at all of these problems, all of these problems are very common in modern day world. A lot of people die from these physical problems. And most commonly, the source or the cause is emotional stress. So if you can have somebody that can work with you to reduce your emotional stress, to have good strategies, to have a good lifestyle, then the hope is that you can either minimize these problems or prevent them altogether. Thank you for listening to my video today. Look forward to talking to you again. Bye.